The hook, 30-vote 00.367. The digital alarms were screaming, but they were screaming in two different languages, signaling two simultaneous catastrophes. On one screen, the indictment flashed 3 Iranian nationals, employees of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, charged with a massive hack and leak operation designed solely to detonate chaos within the 2024 U.S. election. But barely a week before that, on October 18th, another kind of fuse had been lit deep within the halls of American power. A CIA analyst, Asif Ragas, had just dumped classified NSA documents detailing Israel's preparations for a retaliatory military strike against Iran. How could the nation face a coordinated political assault from a hostile state actor, while at the exact same moment one of its own analysts risked triggering an actual regional war? Chapter 1. The Election Frontline 32.0.8366. The digital frontline of the 2024 election was not just about information, it was about infiltration. The FBI confirmed that Masoud Jalili, Sayed Ali Aghamiri, and Yasser Balaghi, working for the IRGC, had executed a strategy aimed at sowing discord and undermining our democracy. The targets were broad, current, and former U.S. officials, political campaigns, and perhaps most critically, members of the American media. The goal wasn't persuasion, it was chaos. This wasn't a quiet intelligence grab, this was a calculated public poisoning. These actors, indicted under U.S. jurisdiction, were attempting to weaponize the internal disagreements of a democratic process. Think of the infrastructure they must have compromised. Hacking systems capable of pulling source code and technical specifications, all to fuel a digital firestorm. The indictment itself speaks to a coordinated conspiracy, suggesting a network far more sophisticated than just the command structure of the Revolutionary Guard. Chapter 2. The Kinetic Leak, 2.45 and 10. But just as the indictments were being finalized, the story took a sharp, kinetic turn. Just days before the election chaos was expected to climax, a different kind of fuse was lit inside Langley. CIA analyst Asif Rahman, an individual with trusted access, moved beyond political documents. On October 18, 2024, he released highly classified intelligence detailing Israel's specific preparations for a retaliatory strike against Iran. This intelligence originated from the National Security Agency, the nation's most guarded signals repository. A single analyst used a fringe messaging app, the Telegram channel Middle East Spectator, to broadcast potential war footing directly into the region. Leaking war plans doesn't just compromise missions, it breaks trust at the highest levels of Allied defense. The severity cannot be overstated. The documents likely detailed kinetic strike preparations, shattering the careful intelligence sharing pact between Washington and Jerusalem. History reminds us that the biggest threats often come from those already inside the walls, a vulnerability that echoes the deep insider breaches exposed years before. Chapter 3. The Unseen Connection, 4.45630. This is where the two seemingly separate failures collide, creating the central mystery of this entire intelligence collapse. Was this merely coincidence, two massive security breaches happening weeks apart? Or were they the synchronized movements of a single hostile strategy? The infrastructure for global espionage is built into the fabric of American diplomacy. Agencies maintain covert operational bases disguised as legitimate outposts, just like the one rumored to function within the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt. If the CIA's own European hacking division develops tools capable of bypassing the encryption on messengers like Telegram, why couldn't they monitor an analyst leaking from within? If Rahman used Telegram, did he exploit the same vulnerabilities that Iranian state actors are known to target? The IRGC actors were indicted for conspiracy, suggesting a complex collaborative effort. The question facing every counterintelligence official now is stark. Was Asif Rahman compromised, recruited, or directed by the very same IRGC-backed unit responsible for hitting the election? Chapter 4. The Pattern of Disruption, 6:30-8:30. The convergence of election interference and classified war plan leaks suggests a high-stakes, multi-pronged Iranian strategy designed to maximize U.S. distraction and confusion. The IRGC didn't just hack emails, they hacked the narrative pipeline, targeting the media to amplify discord through trusted local channels. Simultaneously, the war plan leak introduced the genuine specter of kinetic escalation, forcing national security apparatuses to pivot from political preservation to crisis management. The timeline reveals the deliberate sequencing, the operational catastrophe in mid-October, followed by the aggressive political destabilization in late September-October. The ultimate question remains, were these two breaches two separate failures, or the two halves of a single, devastating Iranian campaign, designed to ensure that when the American public looked one way, the true damage was being done in the other? The climax and knowledge gap resolution NIFIA's 30-930. For now, the direct digital thread, the concrete evidence linking the indicted IRGC employees to the CIA analyst, remains obscured by layers of operational security and denial. We know the IRGC actors were charged with attempting to undermine democracy. We know Rahman compromised the NSA's most sensitive kinetic plans. Did the chaos of the election hack provide the perfect cover for an insider like Rahman to exfiltrate the war plans? Or was the entire operation, the election chaos and the military leak, a sophisticated feint? In the high-stakes world where state-sponsored hacking meets frontline intelligence leaks, the enemy's success is measured not just by what they steal, but by the scale of the confusion they force us to confront. The lesson etched in the digital scars of this event is clear. When both the process of governance and the promise of peace are attacked simultaneously, the greatest threat is always the compromise already hiding in plain sight.